Hi, this is Real World Audio, and let's talk about surrounds and what you can do to have them. So, there's a question: is it worth putting some rubber cement around the surrounds of the driver that gets worn over the years? And there's like nice comments about contact cement use and thin coat using very light, and also if you decide to use any kind of rubber cement or material to strengthen your surround, just use a thin coat of it. Don't put too much, because then you are changing the properties on how it behaves. And this was just my comment that I just put right now. So actually here in Hawaii, my problem is that plastics just deteriorate at record speed, and that's also a problem not just with loudspeakers but with cars. So for example, a lot of the cars that were designed for Europe and continental climate, the rubber parts are just falling apart in record time, and there's a lot of problem with cars. But let's also show you what the talk is about. So the surround, this is the surround of the loudspeaker. You see that ribbed thingy. So that's the loudspeaker cone, and the function of the surround is to connect the cone to the speaker basket. And here we cannot see the basket because I mounted it behind the buffer. So it's behind this piece of wood, and you just see the end of the screws sticking out from underneath. But here, let me show you, because at the Mirages, there's no protective ring around them. So now you see that's the basket of the driver, and it's mounted from the front. This is what you see with 99.9% of loudspeakers. And here the surround is the typical plastic surround. So basically it's a blip, right? And this is the material that gets worn with age, and when it gets worn thin, it starts to have like cracks around it, and then you can apply with a brush a thin layer of contact cement on it to prevent the crack from spreading apart and becoming a big crack. Because if this whole thing cracks or falls apart, then there's nothing holding your moving cone to the side of the basket, and then your voice coil starts rubbing. And also if it opens up, then when the cone goes back, then the air pressure will go in right here if you have a gap here, and then you will lose the pressure here. So instead of the back pressure turning into bass through exiting through your port in the back, it will coming out right here, and you will be losing a lot of the low frequency response. So that's one thing. But here what I have my problem here in Hawaii is that these rubber parts, the surrounds, just fell apart in about 10 years. They just disintegrate because the climate is such that it's not kind of plastics. If you live in a continental climate, then probably they will last for you maybe like 20 years or longer. And but here, if they last 10 years, I am exceedingly lucky. And now let's have a look at the Altex. So for these guys, you see their surrounds is not that plastic blip, but it's a paper based material, and it's like a harmonica. And this thing, I can tell you guys, this is like almost 50 years old, the surround on this driver, and it totally is, it looks like it's brand new. And that's one thing why these Altec drivers are just so much more higher quality than your any other drivers which are made today, even those made at a very high price point, because they are made to last. And for these Altecs, these are the 515Cs. These were made so that with the purpose, with the intention in mind that they will be operated at rated wattage or close to rated wattage, like 10 to 15 hours a day, every day, and they should last at least 20-30 years while pushed to the brim. So these surrounds were designed with that in mind. And when you have a consumer loudspeaker, then the surrounds were designed with the idea in mind that you turn it on maybe 2 or 3 times a week and listen to a couple hours at a fraction of the peak output power, and that's it. And that's why for these old Altecs, that's why I cherish them so much, because probably these surrounds, even in 30-40 years, they will be still fine, and I think they will give me at least 30,000 hours of music listening before I need to change them or take care of them. And for these guys, in 10 years, it will be mandatory to recon them. So I hope that helps a little bit about the surround question, and everyone have a wonderful day. Please like, subscribe, tell your friends, because YouTube is not telling it to new people that I have videos. It's just showing the mega channels for people who browse for audio stuff. And if you found this video by chance, then it is your lucky day. Bye bye.